Welcome to this special episode of the Osasu Show. Last week, we took you on a journey highlighting the first half of our year. The Osasu Show, which is Africa's leading political and development program, and also the flagship show of DSTV network, a digital-first Pan-African news network, will now take you through the concluding part of our year in review. Let's get started.
The federal government, state government, and the FIRS have been at loggerheads about who should collect value-added tax generated in the various states. According to experts, this responsibility should remain in the jurisdiction of the state government.
Every Nigerian overseas, everyone knows the position today as regards the issue of VAT concerning the court judgment. Now, let me tell you, Lagos is unfortunate. Lagos is not the same party with me. It's not an issue of party. It's an issue of infraction of the Constitution. It's an issue of illegality. I don't give a damn. Every Lagos gets the whole money. That's what the law allows them to get. Well, so why should I fight that Lagos is getting money? Am I the one? Is it Lagos that prepared the Constitution? Is it Lagos State? No. So for you to come and tell me, you know, Lagos is so rich, so what? There are no two economies equal in this world. Even in America, Houston is an oil city, but the biggest economy is California. You take your own advantage. There's no two states that can be the same. Not one, not two states. Not you can say after this is this, after this is this, in terms of this is this, in terms of this. Allow the state to be creative, to utilize the functions as provided in the Constitution and the laws for them to make their state to grow. The powers have already been devolved in the Constitution, but the federal government does not allow us. They don't want to allow us. All they want us to do every day is to come and beg, beg, beg. And I said, I will not beg.
I don't even think the federal government should be giving states FAC allocation, because this is what is making states very complacent. States now just sit back, wait for FAC allocation, and they don't do anything. Now, if states are to be generating their own revenue, you notice that a lot of governors will sit up. You notice that the governorship position will not be so attractive because you're coming there to work. You're not coming there to, just make money or relax. So it is important, it is very good if we work towards that model of making states hardworking, accountable, generating their own resources, harnessing their own resources. We have lots of states have resources. Look at Zamfara, for example. You can see the amount of gold coming out of Zamfara. And all this thing is being taken by. If you give Zamfara the autonomy to control its own resources, I'm sure there'll be no bandits there, because they will do everything to keep it and look after the state in terms of paying the bills and providing infrastructure and paying salaries for the states.
As long as this money is gathering at the center, it is not going to bring development down to the local communities. And in as much as the state governors are forced to think, not blaming the federal government for their inefficiencies, now taking themselves into accountability of their own governance by making sure that they generate the necessary funding to be able to run their own government, then we will always be having the same problem that we're having here, whereby state governors every end of the month, they send finance commissioners to come and collect monies that they didn't work for and then take it to do developmental project. Naturally, that's why you see the money doesn't go down, because it's the money that has no sweat in it. So, but as long as you know that each and every citizen of your state, as they spend, they contribute to the general well-being and the growth and development economically of that state, you will ensure that they have enough money to spend. So that is why it is very important for state governments to be able to collect those consumption tax, so that they will ensure distribution of resources to the people so that they can spend in order for them to VAT from that spend.
Mpape community is a satellite town in Bwari Area Council of the Federal Capital Territory. On the 11th of August 2021, operatives led by the Federal Capital Territory Administration FCTA Ministerial Task Force on City Sanitation commenced the demolition of structures which they claim had been illegally erected in and around the area, including the road and market.
In Pape case, it's a requested demolition where the landlords wrote to the FCT minister. They came on a courtesy call. They submitted a letter requesting that the road shoulders are badly encroached upon.
That day I was cooking, full pot of rice, full pot of meat, full pot of food, everything that I cooked that day. Partaker pack it away.
The only thing they say we should shift behind, so we should shift backward. So we managed to shift backward, but even as we shift, the thing still affected us.
There is no any notice, and they did not even mark our office. And they say this thing, they are doing it to expand the road. Please see the distance. See the distance from the road to our office. It's like there is something under the carpet that we don't know.
We marked, I will show you a video on my phone where we are going around with what do you call it now, with a van announcing to people that we are coming.
Along the road corridor, and within the plot, along the road,
It has never been done anywhere. You mark, you give notice, it was in the media, and you took a van, you keep going around. But the system is, everyone believe that, no, most people, not everyone, believe that government will not come.
As we know, this Buhari government is the government that is listening the less privileged people. I think the minister and the Buhari and all his cabinet, they will look into this issue and do what we are hoping them to do us. If they refuse to do, election is coming, and the less privileged people, they will decide on what they support to do.
Joining me now is Honorable Ben Igba, who is the representative of Ethiopia Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives. Thank you so much for joining us in today's program.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. How do we start to foster good leadership when Mr. President has made these allegations? We don't know if it's true yet, that members of parliament, such as yourself, are actually funding terrorism, which is, holding back development and progress of the people of this dear country.
Well, first thing, we must agree, like I've said before, we are running a constitutional democracy. And in constitutional democracy, your responsibility is tied to the roles given to you by the Constitution. And nowhere I have gone through some part of the Constitution, though I'm not yet a lawyer, but I've been able, over time and experience, know some part of the Constitution. No part of the Constitution say that one arm of government is superior to the other. And Mr. President, blanket accusation of a member out of 469, I think it's an aberration, is the height of it. It's just, I feel Mr. President, just like it has always happened, want to just undermine the integrity and the independence of the parliament. And it's not just about me, it's about everybody, 469 members. Because if you don't name, and you say all of you, I mean one of you, then everybody is a potential sponsor of terrorism. And Mr. President, again, because the executive arm of government seems to have a lot of powers. He has the power of prosecution. He has the power of arrest. He has the power of investigation, just like we have our own powers to investigate under the relevant section of the Constitution. But he has the power of prosecution. He can go ahead, name the person, prosecute the person. And not just prosecution. It's not just enough to name. You must prosecute and secure conviction. Until that is done, Mr. President have no justification to have said that.
Today we'll be talking to a media giant and the pioneer of private media broadcasting in Nigeria. He's the founder of Dark Communications PLC, home to Africa Independent Television, Ray Power FM, and a host of other media assets. Joining me today is High Chief Raymond Dopassy. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much.
You're most welcome, sir. You just turned 70. Oh, glory to God. Can you tell me, how are you feeling at 70?
No, at 70, I'm quite happy. I'm quite contented with life. I'm happy going through the journey I have gone through, and I believe that I need to dedicate the rest of my life to the service of humanity, to the service of Nigerians, to really vigorously pursue without any baggages those things that I think are proper to unite this country, to strengthen this country, to give the younger generation the proper role after all. You see, you don't compare apples to grapes. Yes, I haven't looked very carefully. I haven't lived in this country. I haven't been part of Nigeria. The struggles, and knowing what I know. Atiku Abubakar is not PMB. PMB was overthrown in 1985. Please listen to what the first brokers and compare them with today. But that you don't have a justification for the overthrow of PMB. The same people who brought PMB were part of the struggle who celebrated in 1985. I respect the aspiration of the younger people. I agree with the vision of the younger people. Yes. But it is wrong to generalize. Nigeria is in a very, very bad shape. Osasu, look at the indices. We are now the capital of poverty. Over 33% of our youth are unemployed. At the time I was growing up, jobs were looking for us. Today, people look for jobs for over 10 years. And when I was in secondary school, Shell was coming, various industries, Nigerian Post Authority, all of that. I could cherry pick. That's not the situation today.
Joining me now is Alhaji Buba Galadima. Thank you so much for coming in today's program.
Thank you very much for having me on this great program.
You're most welcome, sir. It's such a delight having you on here. As an elder statesman, you've contributed a lot to national policy and dialogue across the country. I wonder, President Muhammadu Buhari is your former ally. You worked with him side by side for so many years. You believed in his capacity to lead us, to govern us as president. That's why you campaigned for him when he was a member of the CPC, even when he joined the APC. What made you think that he had the capacity to fight insurgency? Because he has only 2 years left in his administration. And one of the key components of his campaign was to bring insecurity to its barest minimum. Yet we see Nigerians being attacked, according to the Minister of Police Affairs, on a daily basis now. Insurgency has become worse than it's ever been in the country. So, in your opinion, or from your experience with the incumbent President Muhammadu Buhari, why did you believe he had the capacity to fight insurgency to its barest minimum?
Well, Osasu, let me first make a small correction. That if I am not, at least I could say that we were part of those who persuaded the general because of prevalent insecurity in the northeastern part of the country, persuaded him to join partisan politics in 2002. 34 of us started the journey. By 2015, only 2 of us remained out of those 34 people. Most people, maybe some people died, most people left because they might have seen something that we were not able to detect. And we thought that somebody with the military training of a general, somebody who had been a GOC, somebody who had been there as commander-in-chief would have been the most appropriate person to tackle insecurity problems in the country. It is not about Buhari's person as an individual now, but it was about his background, that if a person with that pedigree could not sort out the security of Nigerians, protect their lives and protect their property, then we are in trouble.
So we are in trouble?
Of course we are.
Deep trouble.
Problem.
I'm now being joined by Rinsola Abiola, the founder of the Rinsola Abiola Foundation. Thank you so much for joining me in today's program.
Thank you so much for having me, Osasu.
You're most welcome. I was watching one of the videos of your outreach and I was simply blown away that at such a young age, the passion that you have, the compassion for your people, and your active participation in building them and developing their capacity, you know, and you're not even a politician yet, you know. So I just wonder what has inspired you thus far to, you know, carry out some of the good deeds that you have done, and what do you intend to accomplish with your foundation?
The passion has always been there, support people who are in need. I'm also very passionate about women generally. I like to empower women. I believe economic empowerment is a key tool for attaining gender equity. With economic empowerment, a woman is better able to put her kids in school, she's better able to run a business, and that was why I decided that the very first thing that I would do through the foundation was empower our women.
Your late father, Mko Abiola, did the same thing, and you're following his footsteps quite well. What sort of legacy would you like to leave behind as Rinsola Abiola?
There's MQ, and then there are quite a number of us as children. So I'm Rinsola. Whatever it is I'm doing is because I want to do it, not necessarily because I'm trying to aspire to something that my father was. The legacy that I would like to leave behind when my time comes, what I would like to spend my life doing is work in the service of other people. Do what you can to assist as many people as possible. I've done quite a bit in many different capacities, whether it's through politics, whether it's in youth advocacy, whether it's in gender advocacy, whether it's by reaching out to charity organizations like my foundation. And I just believe that a life well spent is a life spent in the service of other people.
So you've done phenomenal work through your NGO, through your foundation. So I know you ran for office in 2019,
yes,
and
I
you
did.
lost out. Are you going to try to run again?
So I'm not very particular about running for office, so to speak, but if a good opportunity presents itself, perhaps in future, sure, why not? And we do our consultations, they say to go for it. Everybody is okay with it, sure. But right now, it's not a priority, so to speak.
I'm now being joined by Chinyere Ugo, who is a clinical psychologist at NEEM Foundation. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. So we saw the report by UNICEF to commemorate World Children's Day, which clearly shows that 1 in 6 children in Nigeria are suffering from depression. What is the way forward? How do we deal with this?
First of all, I must say that the statistic is quite scary. I think it's more than depression, and if we did more examination, we would find that there's a lot more. One of the things that we can do about it is education and advocacy, and then proper treatment. Having this conversation now is all about advocacy and education, because it's important that we realize that children actually have mental health challenges. It's one of those things that we don't really pay attention to because sometimes it goes undiagnosed. Sometimes we don't pay attention. We just chuck it to, it's childhood behavior, it's adolescent behavior, and we don't pay attention to it. So there's need for us to constantly talk about it, because talking about it educates people, and there's putting the word out there, and there's advocacy.
I must keep hampering on the fact that there's a huge lacuna between mental health needs and mental health funding. What is the role of government in providing funding for people who are not as privileged to fund their mental health challenges and needs?
So it boils down to policies and implementing some of these policies. Truth be told, some of the medications are actually very expensive. And some of the medications that have minimal or less side effects are very expensive. So you might end up going to go get a medication that has more of a severe side effect because it's cheaper. What the government can do is step in and subsidize some of these things that make it a little bit more affordable. there are facilities available and they be expensive. What the government can also do is also step in and use some of these existing facilities to subsidize the rates for people, for Nigerians to use it. Primary healthcare centers, the basic support needs to be available. You need to be able to walk into the nearest clinic in your community and you can get somebody to offer you a basic mental health care. And then if there's a need for you to escalate it, then they can escalate it or refer you to a bigger general center. But at the end of the day, the government has a role to play in providing affordable, professional mental health support for Nigerians.
It is clear our 2021 calendar year at the Osasu Show was highly impactful. Nonetheless, as it's our tradition, we have to end the year giving back to society. The Osasu Show Foundation fed the less privileged in all 36 states across Nigeria and the FCT.
Enjoying their meal and being grateful to the Osasu Show Foundation. The Osasu Show Foundation provided lucrative meal for both male and female.
Thanks to the Osasu Show Foundation, we are feeding these people to celebrate Christmas.
Thank you so much to the Osasu Show Foundation. They are sponsoring. We are able to do it. We are able to show them love. Thank God for everything. So yeah.
To our esteemed viewers across the world, we sincerely thank you for your support in 2021 and we look forward to continuously delivering quality programming. On behalf of Chief Osasu Igbinedion and the management of TOS TV Network, we say Happy New Year.
North to South Africa, East to West Africa, TOS TV Network is your digital-first Pan-African news network, bringing you news from across the continent. Visit our website www.tostvnetwork.com and follow us on social media at TOS TV Network on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.